Alright guys, here's a Talaria Sting R. I wasn't expecting this bike to come in. Right now it's May 22nd, and I wasn't expecting it till 1st of June. It's been raining a lot, and I got to go try it out yesterday, and I rode it today. I put 26 miles on it yesterday, and battery lasted, and I think it dropped down to 40%, but I was riding some pretty technical trails that's for dirt bikes, and it was all hills. But this is basically a video just telling you the 3 things I wish was different on this bike. I grew up racing motocross all my life. I'm 38 years old now. I got hurt pretty bad 8 years ago, and I haven't been on a bike since. And I figured this would be a way to work myself back into riding again. And I still can ride pretty fast, pretty hardcore. Nothing's really scared me away from bikes. I have kids now, and they want me to ride with them. But the 3 things I'd change, the first thing I noticed right off the bat, I didn't even ride this bike by myself. My son wanted to ride, of course, sitting in front of me. So when I was riding the bike, I'm used to riding with my fingers on the, a dirt bike, fingers on the clutch all the time. We were turning, I went to slow down. And so I barely had the back brake pulled. Went to hit the gas so we could, come out of the turn. And nothing, the bike doesn't move. I guess it's probably my fault, but I didn't know that if you have the brakes pulled on this bike, it kills the motor, or the electronic speed control. It won't let it give it gas. So I almost, dropped the bike with my son sitting on my lap, and he's 3. But that was the first thing I noticed. So I looked up on YouTube, like other people talking about it, and that was the first mod everybody says to do, is to pull the sensors out of both brakes. And you just follow the wires and unplug them. So that was the very first mod I did, and I suggest you do it too, because it makes it a lot better to ride in the woods, or whatever you want to do. If you like to drag your back brake, or going down hills, or your front brake going into a turn. So that was the very first thing that caught my eye right off the bat. The second thing I noticed was the front forks, how they felt. The suspension comes pretty much with both rebound and compression almost all the way out. My bike did. I believe these are the Talaria brand forks and rear shock. Yeah, it just says factory suspension on it, Talaria. I rode a lot of jump. I did ride some jumps. I did jump some stuff yesterday, and a lot of rocky stuff, some high speed stuff. I played with the suspension, but the front forks I don't really know how to explain it. They don't feel smooth. I mean, I cranked them hard. I backed them all the way off. I played with compression. I never could get them where I liked them. More than likely, I'm going to end up taking them apart and taking them to my buddy that builds Supercross, well, not Supercross, but motocross suspension, and see if we can change the oil out and play with the valving a little bit and see if we can get them where we like them. I rode pit bikes a lot, and I got my suspension built on a pit bike, and I got them, I've got factory forks like on a KLX, and KLX 110, feeling pretty nice, and I've had Marzucci's, very expensive forks. So I've been on both worlds, cheap suspension and very expensive suspension. And I know this is a China-based bike, so I know I can't ask for a lot, but I mean, for the price, it works, and it feels decent. The brakes on it are awesome. I can't complain about the brakes. But the third thing that I'd like to upgrade, it's a very, I think everybody says these wider foot pegs. But the one thing that really blew my mind when I did see it when it came in is this, the handlebar clamps. It's straight off a bicycle. And of course, you know what happened to me deep in the woods yesterday? I did drop it. I dropped this bike. I slid on a log. And the handlebars twisted and like just turned all the way sideways. And luckily it stayed tight enough that I could get back out of the woods so I could get to my truck and tighten these things up. But you can tell the stem, this is straight off a bicycle. I think they probably did it so you would save the handlebars if you did fall. But why doesn't this have a triple clamp on it? I mean, the rest of the bike, you got motorcycle based suspension, not a mountain bike based suspension. But you got these, you know, like a bicycle style, you know, steering stem. So if I was really gonna ride this thing hard, jump, you know, decent sized jumps, that's the only thing that does scare me. I hope there is an upgrade that comes out soon that you can replace this to have a, you know, decent, you know, handlebar and triple clamp. But other than that, I'm very impressed by the bike. The battery lasts a long time. So I put 26 miles on it in the woods, up and down hills. I mean, I'm talking about big hills, very extreme enduro trails. Some of the stuff, I've been out there on a dirt bike 250F, and some of the stuff, you know, is very difficult on that bike. And I took this down every one of those trails. So I'm very impressed by it. So if you want to, sorry, it's the air compressor for my shot going off, the drain on it. But if you're thinking about getting one of these, this is the Talaria Sting R. This is the second batch Lunacycles has sent out. I've had, you know, I didn't order the first batch, this is the second batch. But I think the next model I'm actually going to do is buy the chain, get rid of the O-ring chain, because they said you can gain 3 or 4 mile per hour by just changing the chain. But it's a good bike, but that's my 3 main complaints on the bike. The steering stem, the brake switch, and the front forks. But maybe just changing the oil in the forks make a difference. Might see if I can just find some more info on those front forks. But that's my review on this bike. And right now I rode a little bit today. I have 38 miles on it. Oh, it would be nice if you had a switch for the headlight to turn it on and off. But that's something I can add myself. So yeah, Lunacycles, fast shipping, $4,500. I hopped logs with it. Skid plate held up nice. I mean, I treated this thing just like it was a 250F yesterday. And hit creeks with it, jumps. And it didn't slow down. It's a good bike. So So I'll post more videos of this soon. Next time it'll be on a track. So stay tuned. Thanks.